everyone, welcome to a cold and dark Devon morning. It's pretty rainy and dreary outside, so we've got all lights on today. Today's reading is going to be what you might not see coming. So you've got 3 piles as usual. Pile number 1, pile number 2 and pile number 3. So if you want to choose your pile, then we'll get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, hi there, pile number 1. I'm trying to get the camera angle correct so that you can see the table, but not my nose, because you don't need to be looking at that. That's not really what you tuned in for. Okay. What you might have not seen coming towards you, pile number 1, is a situation that's going to be quite a change for you. This is what I'm picking up, and at the moment I'm not really sure whether it's relationship based or workship based, but I can tell you the feeling of what I think is coming towards you. But only take what resonates, because there could be more than one person watching, whoever knows. So just take what resonates with you. If you feel it rumbling inside you, then that's probably a message for you. You tend to know. I think when I do these tarot card readings that you already know the answers. It's just something I say or something that you pick up that resonates. I think it's basically you doing the readings, if you know what I mean. Excuse me. Right then. You're coming across as somebody who's very controlled and likes things at this particular moment in your life just so. I think you've almost got in a situation, I don't know whether it's work or career or family or any relationship, where you feel quite content, and it's almost as if you've built a cotton wool igloo around yourself to keep yourself secure. But what it's not actually doing, it's not making you feel as if you have much self-worth. I know this is a really harsh beginning to a reading, so please only take what makes sense to you. I'm just going to explain the cards to you and I'll tell you why I'm saying it. This is coming up for you. You've got Cancer, which is quite reserved. It's quite inward looking, it's quite receptive, it's quite maternal, it's very caring, but it definitely doesn't like to move forward. And this sort of fits in with the Celtic cross and the other cards here. You've got Pluto here as well, which can be a little bit overwhelming. It can be a really intense feeling. And then you've got the 5 of Pentacles. Can you see these? With these horses on a hill and looking as if they've been locked out of some situation, as if they're not fed properly, life's just not going forward to them, but there's a light coming down and they can't see it. So I think at the moment, sorry, I've just had my breakfast, that's why I'm making stupid giraffe noises. I think at the moment you're coming across as an energy that's quite happy where it is until it's unhappy, which possibly could be now, if that makes sense. I think you're quite content in the status quo, even if you're quite changeable in your general personality. You may have got stuck in a rut. And I think if somebody mentioned to you to pick up your hooves and get out, then you might be, oh no, I'm not really ready, because there's Pluto here as well. It's intense and it doesn't like to be told what to do, and Cancer definitely doesn't like movement, but there's a feeling of not really getting what you want out of a situation. And this is playing with the opposite energy here. Oh sorry, I really have just had my breakfast and I can just feel it. It's not the back of my throat. This energy here I didn't really take as being a person, or it could be a situation. As I read, you'll probably decide yourself which fits and which makes you feel as if you're moving forward. You've got Leo, Mars and the Chariot, so these energies are big energies in a different way. They are forceful, they are proud, and they are quite, I could guess, quite ruthless if something stepped in their way. They're quite a ego-carrying energy, and it's very direct. And you're coming across as having a strong ego, but it's almost as if you're sat still with it and too afraid to move forward in a situation where this ego is going to run roughshod over you unless you start thinking what you really need to be thinking. I really sound like a real preacher today, don't I, as if I'm going for it, but I'm just reading the energy. These energies are quite strong and quite opposite. This one's forceful and forthcoming. This one with the horses sitting on the heath and Cancer is stuck still and strong but not moving. Right then, okay. If you just keep those energies in mind and you choose some situation that you think this might apply to, and I'll go through this Celtic cross here and possibly a little more of an insight into the situation and just see if anything comes across to you. Now, this is the small cross here is the situation in a nutshell. You've got change, you've got death as the main reason for probably tuning into this reading, and death is change. It's something that has to come to an end, because if it doesn't come to an end, it's like the number 13. There's no movement forward, and basically you know you're meant to move forward and you just haven't. That's why people used to be scared of the number 13, because it's just change and people don't like change. And I don't think at the moment you're quite ready for it, but I think something's coming towards you, and unless you keep your eyes and your ears open, it's going to run over you. So I think the best thing for you is to possibly think, if there's something that you're not feeling satisfied with, what is it, and how can you start making small changes before it comes and gets you? And what's crossing that is the Strength card. So I think whatever changes that you're going to make, that however small, however brave you're feeling at that time, as soon as you start making these changes and start making steps towards something that makes you feel good in yourself and less like these little horses, and make you feel loved and make you feel as if you're being nurtured in some way. You're nurtured by other people around you, nurtured by life and nurtured in your decisions, what you want to do, and it makes you feel good. Perhaps you're doing something in your life that you're doing because you think it looks good, or because you think somebody else has told you to do it, or you're fitting yourself into a peg that doesn't fit you. And what you've got here is change, and then you've got the Strength card. So whatever change that you make is going to feel as if you've got your power back. It's going to make you feel as if you are riding that lion, not that life is riding you. Right. And that sounds really harsh. I am sorry that it sounds harsh, but if it was me, this is what I would want somebody to tell me, but I would be using my own mind and not thinking, oh my God, I must change this, and you hadn't even thought about it yourself. When you're reading these cards, if something that you think about, oh right, okay, perhaps I can feel something about uncomfortable in my job or in my relationship, then I'll start making, keeping my eyes out, putting a few feelers out for the job, that type of thing. Behind you, you've got a feeling of feeling cut off, and something has been taken from you unfairly. So I think you know what I'm talking about. You probably feel as if something's been kept away from you, or something's been taken from you, and you don't feel that it's correct. The situation that's coming into my head is my sister was in a job I hope she's not watching this, because she does occasionally watch. She was in a job in a high street. And it wasn't what she was meant to be doing, but it was fine. She was really happy. She just went and did her job and serving customers with nice gift shop. And she had the general inkling that it was time to move on, but like 6 months went and she was happy. She kept going. And then she walked into the shop one day and she caught the manager and this other girl behind the shop basically just slanging her off over something or other. And it was just really awkward. And I can remember knowing how upset she was at the time, and then I don't think it took about 3 weeks to a month to get out, but she went in to do something she was meant to be doing. Her next job that she applied for was far more her cup of tea. So this is the feeling that I'm getting from this, and I think that behind you there's something that's not quite right for you, that's not quite fitting in. But what's going to happen is going to be good, because it's almost as if once you start recognizing what it is and then telling yourself it's time to move on, it's almost as if you're going to reboot and be, I'm going to say this, I don't know, that old self that was feisty and fiery and fun and outgoing and laughed a lot. There's a lot of thoughts and, well, I'm not going to say feelings then, but there's just a lot of thoughts, and you just get your oomph back, you get your mojo back. think you probably feel as if you're not fitting in somewhere and you're not expressing yourself. And then as soon as you start acknowledging that and making a move forward, I think that's when you're going to light up. You've got the Queen of Wands here, you've got the Ace of Swords here. It's new mental beginnings. It could be quite creative with these two together. It's just a new idea. It's fun and it's fantastic. The Queen of Wands, this card here, this lady is just kicking her heels up. She looks like she's out on some pole dark scene and she's just really enjoying herself, although maybe a little bit too much. This lion here is what, the lion, you've got that twice. It's just feisty, fun. It's owning yourself and owning your own power again. And I think at the moment you've given it away to other people. I think at the moment you've given your fun. I think at the moment you've given your direction to somebody else or to some situation that's not actually fulfilling you. You're coming across as quite practical, and I'm wondering the situation or the people around you could be quite conventional. And I think you've almost fitted yourself, into this mold. Oh my Lord, every time there's always one. You've fitted yourself into this mold of showing up, being a good girl, being a good boy. And that might not be totally your story. Because the people around you are quite conventional, they like things just so, it's quite orthodox, it's quite controlled, it's quite authoritarian in some way. So don't know if this fits into the situation that you're thinking. And you're quite practical, and you're probably very giving and very kind. So you like the thought of showing up and being good and being there. But there's another side to you that is a little bit wilder. And somebody's got your goat. Somebody behind you has got your goat and annoyed you, and you've almost cut off. But I think this could have been going quite a long time, that you think that it's normal now when you know that it's not. You know that you are this, not this. You know that you're not just somebody dressed in black holding on to everything. You are somebody who kicks their shoes off and doesn't care where they go. You're somebody who isn't afraid to lose something, but you've probably, with these horses here and this Cancer, which is quite clingy, this Pluto quite controlling, you've almost forgotten that. So it's time to start. I'm not saying go and hand your notice in. I'm not saying go and just chuck everything out of your house. It's just recognise where you want to go, and even if it's in 3 or 4 years' time, remember who you were when you were a kid. Remember what made you laugh. Remember what you wanted for Christmas. Remember who your best friends were and why. And then get back to that. Because jobs and situations, they can take that away from you. But you've got so many strong cards here. And they are just the type of person everybody wants to be with. The Queen of Wands and Strength. It's warmth, it's passion, it's grabbing life by the horns. I was going to say horns. The situation surrounding, as we've just said, is small steps. It's something, it's not a big throwing everything up in the air. It's moving towards something slowly. It's recognising what you want. And it's no more holding back. It's no more being the person that's lesser than you, if you know what I mean. It's almost as if it's this power is worth it for you to every day to wake up. And because this is behind you, and this is almost as if you know it's somebody's taken this from you. But this feeling, it's small and it's holding on. And every morning, even if it's just for the next 30 days, you need to get up and remember that this is you. Remember who you were when you were a child, in your most exuberant moments, when your parents were annoyed with you but all your friends were laughing. Because these cards are strong. And these cards up here for you at the moment are strong, but they're strong as in a contained way. I don't think you need that. I think with Strength and the Queen of Wands, it's more creative, it's more free-flowing, and it's passion. It's not control. It's passion whichever way you want to move in. Right, and the end result, what will come if you probably do make these small steps, is that you will start building something for yourself. You may have the feeling that you want to be self-employed. You may just be building up some sort of little empire for yourself. I don't know in which way. It could be a job, or it could even be just like a home life situation that you feel content with, or a family situation, because this Nine of Pentacles is somebody who's content in their home life. This card up here The Five of Pentacles is somebody who's doesn't look like they've even got a home, and they're certainly not content. So all these cards here speak to me of somebody who finds themselves and gets what they want out of life and moves away from feeling like they've been shoved out of a situation. Right. I've got 3 cards here for a little bit more of an inkling into a situation. You've got the Death card again down here. You've also got the Four of Swords, and you've also got the Seven of Swords. So with this, excuse me, I'm putting cream on. With this Five of Swords here, where something's been taken from you unfairly, I think the World and the Death here back that up. It's almost like the end of a situation with the Seven of Swords, and that Seven of Swords in the Rider-Waite to somebody who's sneaking away with something unfairly, and then there's a period of resting. So I think if this was me, I would start looking out and start thinking what you could do that you've really wanted to do but maybe been too scared to do it, or don't think the situation's ever right, and start making small steps, because just in case any of this does ring true or does turn out to have some basis in it, if you've made those small steps, you've got something to start falling back on. And even if something happens that you don't like, once you've started moving, to be honest, that's like 90% of the problem gone, because you can see the bit of light at the end. And I do think the situation with people in this pie is almost, you will know already, it's almost trickling to an end. And you probably feel that something's going on in the background. Right, just to finish you off, pile number 1, remember, Strength and the Queen of Wands. This is you. This is somebody who's not afraid to express themselves and to turn up with their best dress on at anybody's party. It's just somebody who's very proud of themselves, doesn't care what people think. It doesn't adjust the situation like possibly has happened in the past. You've got to come from a strong basis in whatever situation you're going in. Know how much you've got to give. You've got creative ideas here, and you've got new mental starts, creative ideas, and it looks as if you could put it into action with a real strength of character and just a real feeling of being in charge. I mean, this card is a Leo card to me. With those 2 cards together, it's just Leo. You know, it's like royalty. It's somebody who shows up and knows who they are but gives out with warmth, knows where they're going, doesn't expect anything from anybody else because they're doing it on their own. There's no resentment for any situation in the past. There's no resentment to anybody because they are their own world. They basically shine on their own and they give out to people. And whatever people do to you, they can't touch you, because when you're this Queen of Wands and this Strength card, you've got your own inner, this sounds really corny, but you have your own inner light. And I actually mean that, because you move around in any situation with a really strong ego. Okay. I hope that's not too preachy, but that's just how the cards came out. Blame somebody else for that. Well, thank you ever so much, pile number 1, and good luck with all that, because it's some change that I think you probably have an inkling that's trickling in, and I think it's going to be good for you if you manage it in small steps and are brave. Right, thank you, pile number 1. Thank you for watching. I hope you join me again. Bye. Okay, hi, pile number 2. So what you might not see coming. Right, I'm going to go into hold with me a moment. Right, I'm just going to go into the Celtic cross first. I'm going to go back to this. Right, what you haven't seen coming, or what's on your way that's coming towards you, is a situation that involves quite a lot of people. And it's possibly a situation that you've almost shown that you're not interested in, or people might have picked up that you're disinterested in. It could be like an argument or some sort of work situation. You've almost had enough. I'm just going to go through these slowly until it starts making sense to me. So I'm getting this situation. This is a small situation. It's a bit like in the nutshell. And there's lots of people and they're arguing. So there's some sort of, probably a workplace, or people are trying to juggle things and nobody's actually looking at each other. There's fire here, so it could be arguments, but it's basically a lot of people in one situation who aren't working as a team. And then there's you, I'm guessing this is you, who's almost fed up to the teeth with it. You just can't be bothered to say anything. It could be a family argument, it could be a work situation, and you have almost come to your wit's end and just can't be bothered with it anymore. What's behind you is like a practical offer, and it's got something to do with a fiery lady. It could be something like somebody you know who's quite forceful with their opinions, or quite fiery, or just fun to be with, has offered you something practical. It could be like a weekend away, it could be like a holiday, it could be something like a job situation that's moving for you, like a move of office or something like that. It could be a financial gift. It's just something, or something that you've picked up is in the works that's coming towards you. And this could have been causing you to mill it over in your head quite a bit and not really know what to do. And what's going to happen, or what is happening at the moment, is it's almost as if you're getting ready for this situation, you're moving towards it, you're still not sure about it, but it's going to come anyway. The reason I say that you might not be sure about it, which might actually contradict the card I've just seen for you, is you've got the Six of Swords here in the position, which is basically happening at the moment. It's like what is consciously going on at this very moment. This card of the Six of Swords talks to me of movement across water, which water to me is emotion. So it's like an emotional movement, and it's almost as if you're going from, actually it looks the other way around here, as if you're actually going into choppy waters, which it actually doesn't mean that, but it's as if these birds are pulling you into like fresh water. So it's as if you're trying to heal yourself and get out from a situation which may be manipulated by somebody else, possibly a female. It could be a practical situation, and there's a lot of people involved. It almost speaks to me of somebody who has an overbearing mother in some ways, possibly. Queen of Wands to me isn't a mother, but that's the first thing that came to mind because it's older than the Page of Pentacles. An overbearing female in a situation where there's lots of people involved, probably a family situation or a work situation, and you've just basically almost given up. You've almost given up the fight because you can't be bothered. You're almost as if you're trying to rise above it, and you're probably moving forward with this and thinking, well, that's the way it is, I'm going to deal with it internally, I'm going to make myself better, a better person. But deep down you've got the Fool card here, so it's almost like a rebellious card for you. The Fool card to me is Uranus. I think it actually is Aquarius, and it's somebody who, when the shit hits the fan, you can sit and watch it, but you don't really take part. It's quite detached. And it's somebody who's quite rebellious, and somebody who quite enjoys the thought of something blowing up, kicking off and change. Because you've got the Death card here with the Fool for you. So you don't really mind if the situation blows up, because to you it's almost as if because you don't want this much longer. You don't want this wondering and waiting. You're ready for it. You're ready for... Sorry, the camera cuts off every half hour. And so you lose a few words. But I was just saying that you're basically moving forward in this situation. But I do feel there's a lot of healing going on. There's a lot, I think you are basically wondering, with the Eight of Swords here, is once again almost like a healing card. And this is for the hopes and fears. And this is this woman that we've just talked about. It's almost as if you are almost looking in the mirror and wondering whether you have contributed to this. There's a lot of going on in your head at the moment. There's a lot of playing with the situation and wondering, is this person reflecting parts of you? Not many people do that. And you know, they say that we call people into our lives who are reflections of ourselves. And there's nobody in your life who isn't the similar vibration to you, which hopefully, you know, if you do see people that aren't, it's not there for long. But I wonder whether this person, you feel that maybe causing you some grief at the moment, which is going to change. There is going to be a big change. As you've somehow got that in you and you're almost reflecting on that, which is a real big thing to do. But at the moment, there's not much movement with you. You're playing it cool. The Queen of Pentacles here, you're playing it cool. I wonder whether this other person behind you is pushing you to do something you don't want to do. You're fed up of it. It's been going on a long time, but you're still keeping, because both of these cards, the End card and the card that's crossing, are two women that look as if, in a male or female, it doesn't matter, two people that look as if they're not going to move. This one looks like she's bored. This one looks like she's proud and she's sticking there because she's thought about it. Also, to give me an extra inkling into your situation, you've got the Death card here, but you've also got the Justice card here. So I'm wondering whether there's some situation that you deem to be unfair. It could be somebody from your past, and this could be male or female, I don't know, because you've got the King of Wands here. So this Queen of Cups, I think it's somebody from your past. I think it's somebody that you've dealt with quite a bit, and it's somebody that you feel a connection with. It could be a family member, but it's definitely a situation that you feel has gone around a couple of times, and especially with these healing cards, I think you feel, and then you've got the Two of Pentacles up here for you. Right, the Two of Pentacles here is a snake that's going round and round. It's almost as if you're repeating situations. And you've got the Wheel of Fortune here again for a little bit extra information for me. And then you've got the Six of Pentacles. So this talks to me of something from your past that keeps repeating itself. And I think you're well aware of this, because you've got this Eight of Swords, the reflection in the mirror. And then you've also got, what was the other one? Oh, the Six of Swords here, which to me is like moving onwards and it almost healing itself. So this situation, I think, has been either repeated in different forms in your life, and you're still looking for that balance. It's still something that's playing on your mind that you think is unfair. There may be lots of people involved, but there's definitely one or two prominent people. Quite strong characters. Now, the person that you are possibly, I'm going to say locking horns with, could possibly, let me have a look at could be Pisces or have Neptune strong in the chart, or could be somebody who is like a boss figure, or because you've got the King of, if it's a male, it could be you've got the King of Wands and Capricorn, so it could be somebody who's very authoritarian, somebody who's very good in business, who's above you in business, that could be causing you, male or female actually, could be causing you this upset. This person is very perceptive, they're very astute, and they're very good at diving in and getting you where it hurts. And it's as if this also can almost, to me, speak of something in a work situation, or it could be a relationship, but somebody who knows how to pull your strings. But I get the feeling that you're being very stubborn too, and that you think this situation is near its end, and you are just waiting out, and you're both playing the stubborn game. You're coming across as Venus in Scorpio, so, and you're playing with this whole scene at the moment, this whole situation. So Scorpio to me knows what's going on. It's quite in depth and it's quite aware. And Venus is, to me, is either materialistic, it's either money, a money situation, finances, or some sort of attraction, which covers a lot of that, I know. Right, okay. Pile number 2. I'm going to go through this from the very beginning now, because I've had to walk my way through it. I'm going to go through it and see if it makes sense to you. Right, 5 of Wands crossed by the 4 of Cups to me is a group situation where there's conflict and there's argument, and there seems to be little resolution, and you've become disinterested. Behind you, I get the feeling it's a repeated pattern which has a very strong character or two strong characters involved, at least, that are having this influence on you. I've got a feeling one could be like a boss figure, King of Wands with Page of Wands here, and this Page of Wands is very much aware, very much knows where to bite and to hurt. And I'm thinking it's a boss figure because you've got Capricorn here, but if the Queen of Cups, if it's female, there could be some sort of dreamy quality that you feel that the communication is shrouded in mystery and you can't get to the bottom of it, and it's a pattern that's repeated. You've seen it over and over again. You know this situation is coming to an end and you've started to heal yourself. You almost enjoy this situation, or the situation that you've made it roll into, because you've got the Fool down here, and it's a case of rebellion. I've had enough. I don't care anymore. You're ready for something new. Well, the other creepy door. Where the other people in the relationship have been quite stubborn. And you're just ready to walk away. You've got that look on your face. I think the look that you're giving these people is almost as if you do what you want. I don't care anymore. You know, I'm ready for change and I'm brave enough to do it. I've got the Death card, I've got the Fool card, and I've got the Death card. This situation has repeated itself many times and you're looking for fairness. You've got the Justice card here. You've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is almost like a karmic. It's moving around. The Justice card is balance. And the Two of Pentacles here for you is just a situation. All these three cards is situations that have repeated themselves many times, and you've learned the pattern now and you're ready to move on and you're fed up of it. It could be somebody that has a tie on you through finances or through some sort of attraction. And it could be still, I think in a work situation, it could be mixed up with work as well. But it's complicated. I think your pile is complicated for me to read, so I think whatever situation it is complicated. Because the reason why I'm saying this, you've got the Page of Wands, which is fiery. But this card here makes me think air, because this card is just looking straight at you and there's darkness behind it. And this isn't a typical Page of Wands to me. You know, it's quite a dark card and it's very intense with the moon behind, with the eye looking at you. So to me, it's a Page of Swords. So it's thoughts, and it's directed thoughts to me. It makes me feel like this person knows what's going on and is almost coming. You ready for this? Bit of animation for you. It's coming in for the kill in some way. That's a bit dramatic. But you've got Capricorn here as well, which can be quite harsh energy, but Neptune is just confusing. So your whole read, this is for the other person or the other situation, your whole read is confusing. There's no other way to say it, but I can just pick out your three main points before you go. It's healing from your side. It's a repeated pattern that you recognise probably in yourself, and you're just fed up of it and you're ready to make a move on. And because you want fairness, you want it to be fair. You could have, the final thing I'm going to say here, I've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups here, but I think with these differing cards here, that you could be just a group of people that you're ready to make a move from. Right, pile number 2. I don't expect that helps in much way, because I can understand if that isn't so clear to you, but that's all I can get from that. And I think if it hits, hits one person and makes them think, well, actually, now I know what you mean. That's good. It's good enough for me. And good luck with that, because that was quite a convoluted pile. Thank you for watching. Okay, pile number 2. No, I'm lying. Okay, pile number 3. Right, your reading is coming out. I think this picture, this card's fantastic, by the El Goliath pack. Well, that's the name of the guy who does them. That sums up your pile to me. it's almost as if you're a baby in weight and somebody is coming into your life who is almost going to take you unawares. I don't mean that in a stalking sense or in a scary sense, but in the sense that they've got their eye on you, like the eye on the prize, and you're almost like a baby lying on the carpet and not aware of what's coming towards you. This person, to be honest, this is the third pile is the only pile that it's really directly come across as one particular person, and this is what I'm feeling, because you have got the King of Swords twice. So I think this person is probably air sign. It's probably Gemini or Aquarius or Libra, or have it very strong in their chart, and you will know this by the fact that they seem quite intellectual. They probably like to talk about things and debate things. They're probably quite got a cool demeanour. They're probably come across as quite charming, but not warm. They're not the type of person who hug you immediately when they see you, and when they're laughing, it's not as if they're laughing in a warm way. It's more as if they're just laughing. I can say that because I've got a lot of air inside me. And I know sometimes it can come across as a bit cruel, and it's not our fault. It's the way we were born. Well, that's what I tell myself. So, in this situation, because you're coming up as the Six of Cups and the 6th house and Psyche. My sister kept correcting me on that. If you're watching that, really sorry. And to me, this is just softness. It's somebody who, like the Virgo feel of working hard and giving and asking for nothing. The 6 of Cups is like jelly-like. It's soft. It wants to connect, and it's quite emotional, and it's very nostalgic, and it just wants to swallow in the water like a little hippo with its hippo buddies, and it doesn't care what's sat on its head. This is you. You're almost skipping through life like a child and just waiting for connection, somebody to connect you that makes you feel good. And then there's that childlike bond, and then you've got the 6th house, and it's innocence. To me, this 6th house Pisces and Virgo, I always put them together, to be honest, because they just give. It's just somebody who works for somebody else. So I think you've got a very open and giving nature, and this Psyche here is almost as if it's soulful, and it, like the 6th, to be honest, they're very similar. It likes to connect. In astrology, this little planet zooms, I don't know if it zooms, it goes around your chart and then it sticks onto something, and it's almost as if your soul awakens. So these are quite soulful cards. Giving, caring, bonding, emotional and heartfelt. That's you. That is you. Your other person, or the person I think that's actually coming toward you, so something you might not know about, is still relationship based, but they're coming across as the Sun and the King of Swords. So they are quite relationship based. Relationships are important to them, probably quite traditional relationships. They probably like that partner bond rather than just like I was going to say something rude then. I won't say it. Rather than just coming in and out of a situation and having lots of different partners. And they're coming across as the King of Swords, so, and it comes across here as well. So this is definitely somebody who's coming towards you, who is larger than life, who you'll know who it is, but who's quite cool. And probably cool in different ways. They're probably quite, the way they dress, they put their clothes together, the way that they speak. I mean, they could be quite sort of forward looking as well. So they might just have that air of being quite trendy, or being quite forward thinking, or just generally very good at talking and being quite popular. And what you may already know this person already. You may feel, I'm going to say out of your league, and I don't mean that, but you may feel that they're not in the running for a relationship with you, or I'm not actually saying it's a love relationship. It could be anything. I don't know yet. I haven't looked at these cards. But with the Emperor card here, it's like this hill is too big to climb. And then the Wheel of Fortune also makes me feel as if it's something you've got to get on top of, or it's just something that's coming to being. And it may have seemed as if it's not possible or not probable before. The only reason I think you may know this person already is the fact you've got the Justice card here, and this is almost as if you're trying to balance up your head and your heart. So you may actually know this person. It may be you could be watching this person and wondering what's going to happen, but not doing that much about it, because the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who wouldn't rush. It's somebody who's thinking and wondering whether it's going to fit in with their life, practically fit in with their life. And so you are juggling that, whether this, I think it may be a relationship, as in like a love relationship, because if you're watching and waiting, Queen of Pentacles, and wondering whether it's going to fit in with your life, you've got the Justice card here, which is weighing up heart in your head. Then you've got this person who keeps coming across as the King of Swords, and up here as well. And you're very giving. It's almost as if with the Psyche there and with the Six of Cups, I bet you can sense this person around you even before they walk in a room, if you know them already. The reason I feel like you're a bit of a sort of a baby on the carpet, or a sitting duck in the best possible sense, in the sweetest sense, is that you've got this Fool card here. And this Fool card to me is somebody who doesn't know that this person who's after you or wants to get close to you is coming up as the King of Swords. You're coming up, the situation in the front is the Fool. So these two cards speak to me of somebody who's surrounded and captured in the best possible sense. This is a nice pile. It's just the way that I'm actually saying it is revolting. It's just the way I'm saying it, as if it's not quite as exciting as it should be. So you're sitting there with all those sharks around you, and you don't know this person's after you. I don't think you actually lack in drive. I don't think you actually lack in... Oh, I'm just seeing something else here. I don't think you lack in drive. I don't think you're actually somebody who's, although you're coming across as really sweet, I don't think you're somebody who's scared of moving forward. I'm just half thinking here that you may think this person is not possibly on your agenda because they could be a parent already. For them, you've got the Empress, which male or female is somebody who's either very creative, very good at making something out of nothing, and they look good, which could very much fit into the King of Swords, but they possibly could work with children or be very good with children, or possibly could have a family or be a parent. And this could be a reason why you think they're not coming towards you. It even could be, with the Two of Swords here for hopes and fears and the Wheel of Fortune behind, it could be somebody you've had a past relationship with. Wheel of Fortune speaks to me of time, things moving onwards or upwards or downwards. And then you've got, for the situation surrounding the Two of Swords with the two, yeah, it's Two of Swords. I was about to say wands then, because you've got the, look like sticks. It's not a stick, it's a rope. And these two birds have been separated. So this King of Swords person, you may know from before, and you might either think that it's not possible because they are probably already, they may have children, not definite at all by any means, but the Empress card could also, could mean so many things. For them it could just be they're very nurturing. And with the Sun there and the Sun at the end, yeah, okay. If this person hasn't got children already, and you haven't really noticed the fact that they are beginning to make steps towards you, and they're basically circling towards you to pounce on you, and it possibly could be a past relationship, there will be an air of warmth about them, and there will be an air of nurturing about them. When you're together, they will make you feel as if you are Six of Cups and the Sun there. They will make you feel as if you are like a child who's being really loved. And I don't think this is this person with the King of Swords twice. It's their normal character. I think it's just some connection that you have. This person makes you feel nurtured. I don't know how you were nurtured as a child, whether it could be quite airy nurturing, as in, you know, your parents read books with you, your parents took you out to museums, you just talked and chatted a lot, and you may have had lots of siblings where there's a lot of communication. So when you're with this person, it almost ignites that feeling of an inner contentment and you know, that homely feeling where everything feels good and right. Because this person expands you in some way and makes you feel good. And I got a funny feeling it's if they're this airy and with the sun, it's something that makes you feel bigger and warmer and better by the way that they communicate, or the way that you probably just communicate really well together. Right, let's have a little look at these ones here to give me a little bit more of an inkling. Okay, in the pack you've got Death card here, so it's a change, and you've got the Eight of Swords. Hold on. Okay. What I'm picking up from here is it feels to me as everything we've talked about is a change that's coming your way that you almost feel slightly defensive about. It's a big change, and I think you can probably feel it rumbling in the background. So the title of the actual read was What You Might Not See Coming, but I'm beginning to wonder whether you have seen it coming. Because you've got the Eight of Swords, which is anxiety, and then in the middle of that you've got Judgment, which is basically a karmic feel as if it's coming, and with the Death card as well, it's something big that's coming and is going to change your whole way of thinking. And I think that it's something with the Emperor card here, and these are all behind you, the Wheel of Fortune. I think you know that this is going to be a big situation, and with the Judgment in the middle, it's going to rock your world a bit. And with these two cards here, and you've got Death, rock your world a bit, but these two cards here, they're quite protective cards. These cards here speak to me of anxiety, of almost keeping yourself wrapped up so you can't move forward, and it's defensive, and it's... I haven't made my mind up yet. I haven't made my mind up yet, feel about you. You know what's coming towards you, I think. That's you with the sharks around you. And they think this, I don't even know what love bombing is. I've seen it on titles. What on earth is it? But why has that just come to my mind? I think the Empress card here and the Sun is somebody who's nurturing and warm, but very good at talking. So it's somebody who's quite charming that's coming into your vicinity. You may know them already, but you may have counted them out as a relationship. You're soft, you're gentle, you're giving, you are caring, and you work hard. And I think that you know what's going on, because with this Psyche card here, it's quite astute and very soulful, and your person is coming across larger than life, relationship based, and going in for the kill. If I knew those words to going in for the kill, I'd sing it for you. Probably good job I don't. So yeah, this is really it actually. I'm going to sum this up pretty quickly, because I don't think there's much more to say. I think it's somebody you may already know, you may have had a relationship with, you may think this relationship is out of balance, but this person's big, they're quite charming, and there's going to be a big change coming towards you, and you're so drawn towards them because they make you feel like you were when you were a child. They make you feel cared for, and that you just get on well. You just feel as if it's home when you're with them. You probably in your chart have some sort of IC links, or you probably have moon links, and maybe Mercury links there, where you just communicate well. And although it sounds quite doom and gloom, as if this person is basically some, as I've said before, another reading, a velociraptor that's going to circle you and get you, the end result is the Sun. So I think what's going to happen is you're going to really enjoy it. But it's going to be a change. I think it's going to be a bit of a change, because you get the Death card as well. Right, I'm going to finish there. I don't think there's any more that I can say there, because I think with the cards I've got, that's the only way that I can possibly, at this moment, explain it. It's going to feel like a big situation though. But I think you're going to enjoy it. Although it could feel quite like a karmic sort of slightly overwhelming, but I don't think with your Chariot card here, even though you're coming across as soft, I think that you're somebody, once you get moving, quite enjoys the force of big life changes and movement. I think you would get bored easily if you stayed in the same situation too long. And with these cards behind, this person may have seen out of bounds in the past, but I wonder whether it's coming into the open, that they're attracted to you, and that they've got a game plan and then they've put it into action already, I think. There's some anxiety involved in it. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because it's a past relationship, or whether there's different partners involved in the past, or whether you've been out together and you didn't think it was a good idea, although there was a strong communication and a strong feeling of being loved. Don't know. Okay, right. Okay, pile number 3. Let me know if that makes sense in any way, shape or form. And thank you ever so much for joining me today. And please join me again. Bye.